the business plan involves the mission and the vision of the organizations, the main organizational goals, the strategic directions, method of how can achieve the enterprise the organizational goals. It is just an option or a method to implement Porter 5 forces model, which is able to measure the intensity of the competition on the market among 5 main aspects. First purpose of establishing a social enterprise is to create something good for the society. In this video, we are talking about the business plan concept of the enterprises. So, hello, Aaron.
Hello, Noemi.
Okay, we can generally emphasize that the business plan involves the mission and the vision of the organizations, the main organizational goals, the strategic directions, and the method of how can achieve the enterprise the organizational goals.
What do we know about the executive summary and how does it connect to the business?
The appropriate business plan has a logical structure. I mean that the first part should be the executive summary, because, for example, if you need some financial investment and you would like to provide the main information about your business concept and your business, your organization, this is the best paragraph where you can emphasize the main characteristics of your activity and the activity of the organization. So here the entrepreneur should be very clear to define the vision and mission of the company, what are the main goals, and it is also necessary to highlight some financial data, for example, the generated revenue and the amount of the generated profit.
How do they create the executive summary and how does the industry analyzation comes into the picture?
In the executive summary, the entrepreneurs give a framework of the organization and the business concept, what they do day by day. And after that, they can start to talk about their business models, which refer to the internal operation of the organization. So they can discuss all of the elements of the business model and the business model concepts. And after that, it is very important to explore the field where your organization works, so the market or the social ecosystem. And you mentioned industry analysis.
What kind of model can we use to analyze this?
To explore the market, it is just an option or a method to implement Porter 5 forces model, which is able to measure the intensity of the competition on the market among 5 main aspects. And after the market analysis, it is very useful to be clear about what is your marketing strategy. And in this section, the entrepreneurs should be very clear about who is the target group, what are the main characteristics of the product or the service which he would like to sell, how will he provide the generated product or service to the customers and the consumers. And here is the best section to have a deeper insight in the marketing communication or communication skills. And after that, we can talk about the financial plan. So what do you think? What are the key indicators or financial data which are very necessary if you create a financial plan?
To make some kind of revenue and cost structure for the company along many aspects, and also to be more conscious about how much profit could they make and what can they do with that extra, and how can they involve and evolve. What kind of part does the risk factors do in this cash financial analysis of the company?
Okay, in the case of the financial plan, I just would like to have some comment, because it's very important to compare the sales revenue with the operational costs and other costs of the organization, and we have to clarify how many revenue can we generate from sales of product, how many from sales services, and what about the break-even point, because we have to know when will we achieve this break-even point, which means that at this point we are able to finance the costs from the generated revenue. And you asked about risk analysis.
Yes, risk factors. How can we implement these?
Among the financial data and the main characteristics of the market, which are able to influence the operation of the organization, we should determine these kind of risk factors, which we will have to face with them later, and we should define some methods about how will you tackle this kind of risky situations.
So we have like a business plan for the whole company, also created an executive summary for investors or potential investors, and also the marketing strategy. What kind of differences can we make along these aspects between the ordinary operating companies and the social enterprises?
The social enterprises are able to think in this structure and to implement this kind of business plan. But the most important thing here is that to combine the business aspects or business elements of the plan with the social elements, because the main purpose or the first purpose of establishing a social enterprise is to create something good for the society.
Okay, and along this we can also make a distinction that for the social enterprises in the executive summary, it has the most value. What kind of social impact do we want to achieve with our operation? And I think this is especially important for the investors or the potential investors.
So in the case of social enterprises in the executive summary, in the initial point, it is necessary to define clearly what's the social value which you would like to generate with a social enterprise. And after that, you can combine the created social value and your social field activity with the financial data and the business attitude of the organization.